Hello, wonderful people, gorgeous people. Mwah! How are you today? Today I'm talking about the truth movement and just some thoughts that I've been having lately about that. So I'll tell you all about it on the other side. The other day I was working with a lovely client called Nicoletta. Hello Nicoletta, I don't know if you're watching. And we were afterwards, after she had a past life experience and a higher self experience, we were talking generally. And we got onto the theme of the truth movement. And what came through in her session was about distractions. It was all the higher self saying, don't be distracted. I hope you don't mind me sharing that, Nicoletta. And we got onto that. And it was through that, so thank you, Nicoletta, but I kind of, as I meditated on that, I realized something really important. And, you know, it's funny, but when I get these realizations, then I'm watching other videos and I hear the same thing. It's like bizarre. It's like, the beings on the other side are just seeding. This is what you need to know now. This is the next phase of your development. And so I hear, lots and lots of people saying the same thing. So let me tell you what this realization was about the truth movement. Now, I don't know if you've seen any of my old videos in which I talk about the truth and how there is no truth and how we have no perception and no access to the truth in this third dimensional place in which we are. In the studies, it's been shown that as information comes in, we have a thing called the reticular activating system, which is a filter, and it only gives you what it believes that you are interested in. It's a bit like the way that, the bots work on Google. You look for something and then suddenly all the adverts are showing that. That's designed around what's called the reticular activating system, which is the brain says, right, the person that I'm controlling has these interests and therefore I will give them, I'll make sure that they see those. But the problem is it's by deletion. It has to delete other things. Why? Because we have trillions of stimulus all of the time. And so it has to decide what it is that it's going to give you, bearing in mind that the conscious mind is able to handle 7 plus or minus 2 things. So maximum 9 things, minimum 5, depends if they're pretty heavy stuff, 5. Okay? That's it. So how much is being deleted? Well, just like on a scale of an iceberg, we see the tiny peak and nothing we see else. Add to that when they've done the studies, 80% of what we allow to come into our brain, we invent. Our brain invents it based on the filters and the perceptions that we have. So only 20% of the true information enters into the brain. Nightmare. And then, what do? We call ourselves truthers. We call this the truth movement. That is the biggest lie ever. It's not a lie, it's a misnomer. It's a bit, it's given us a name that we do not deserve and we don't qualify for. What does it do? Well, it does 2 things, calling us the truther movement. The first thing it does is it traps us inside of a paradigm. It traps us inside of, we have the truth. That's a tremendous responsibility. It's a responsibility that we cannot manage or step up to because nobody has the truth, right? So already we're on a loser. This is really important that we grasp this. By having that name, we have lost already. We've lost the battle because it's easy to pick holes in what we say. Because for every truth, there's an equal and opposite truth somewhere else. For everything that we say, then there's a contradiction. We can't even agree amongst ourselves about what the truth is. And so calling ourselves that name is really damaging to us. It's damaging. It's damaging because when people look in and they see this disparity, they see this arguments, they see fighting, and they go, truth movement, so much for the truth. Okay? So it puts people off, for a start. And the other thing is, it's not true. It's not true that we are the truth movement. I woke up quite a while ago now, okay? And I started down the rabbit holes, as we all do. And there was a point where I was very sure of stuff. And that's because what I'd done, I'd gone through this process. And the process is one that we all go through. The process is to wake up, to begin to search, and to find information. And from that information, we start creating new beliefs. Yeah? So that's what I did. I found all this information, I created new beliefs, and I was absolutely clear about what the truth was. That's how I felt. It felt very clear. What I'm aware of now is that I've lost all of that, because the next step is to find the truths and then disregard them. Push them to one side. Why? Because they are not helping you. What happens is this: every time that we believe something, we start to filter out everything else. Okay? We filter out everything else. So we start seeing confirmation of our belief. Now this is so dangerous, because we go, there you are, I told you. There you are, I told you. Didn't I tell you? I told you. And that's because our mind is only giving us what it is that we believe. This is a problem. This is a problem. So what's the solution? Well, the solution is this: believe nothing and be open to everything. Believe nothing and be open to everything. And now you might say, but how can a body survive like that? Believing nothing, that would make me sad and everything. I think there are some fundamental beliefs. There are some fundamental beliefs that we can hang on to. We don't need detailed beliefs. We need an overview belief. The belief is that there's a higher power at work. It's easy. That's easy to prove, right? Despite what the evolutionists say, or it's easy to prove. Yeah, there's a higher power at work. And the other thing that we know is true is that the world's leaders, the people, whoever you want to call them, deep state, whatever, they do not like us and they are not our friends. That's it. So there's a higher power, there's a bigger plan, and the people who are running this world don't like us. That's all that we need. That literally is all that we need to then proceed in the right way. We know there's a higher power, and that's what we hang on to. Yeah? That isn't, for me, that isn't a throwaway belief. I feel that one. Yeah? The rest, and also I do know that they don't like us and they want to get rid of us, or they want to control us at least. And I feel that one. It's easy. That's easy to see. Everything else is fluff and details. Everything beyond that, it's interesting. I love hearing people's opinions on stuff I haven't heard. Well, what do you think of that? Oh, right. That doesn't mean that you need to say, therefore I shall start believing that. Don't. You don't need to. You don't need to carry a big pocket full of beliefs to manage the situation. You don't need any beliefs to manage a situation. However, you see, it's one thing to believe. People kill for beliefs, remember. It's another thing to have a tremendous amount of information. All right? Because the more information that you have, the easier it is for you to make a decision, and an intelligent decision. When you create a belief, then you limit the information that's coming to you. It's absolutely scientific. All right? You limit the information. Don't have any beliefs. Your mind goes, good, well, we don't really know what this person believes. We better give them a bit of everything. Okay? And that's what the mind does. It'll start giving you a bit of everything. It'll start allowing you to see things outside of this paradigm in which we live. And that just makes it so much easier for you to take information that's important right? I don't know. I mean, you'll have people who are saying, absolutely, there are clones. There are clones. You see, I don't know that. I haven't got a belief about that. What I will tell you through my observation is that I am seeing people who don't look like the original. Does that mean that they're clones? No, it doesn't. That's a big step. That's a jump. No, it just means that there's something happening and these people appear to be different. Whatever that means. That's kind of where you go to. You know. I mean, you're not going through life like this, like the three monkeys. No, you're completely aware of what's happening. Something smells badly there. Something's not looking right there. That doesn't mean you have to make a decision on what that is. It's an observation. It puts you on guard. You can protect yourself. Yeah? So that's kind of where I feel that we need to get to. Understand that we are the target of those baddies. The baddies are targeting us. Why? They're not interested in the people who are still in hypnosis. That's easy fodder. That's nothing for them. Those people just do what they're told and that's it. It's always been the same. However, there's this ever-growing group of us, this ever-growing rebellious group who are saying no, who aren't doing it, and who not only are not doing it, but they're starting to create this weird future that can't be stopped. However, they know that the only way that they can take our power away is by dividing us. They've done it with the hypnosis. They hypnotize people for centuries, give them bread and circuses, and give them something to fight over. That's it. So look at our truther community and look how much fighting is going on. It's just because they are funneling in contradictory information all of the time, getting you to decide this or that. Is it this or that? Remember that, this or that, black or white, yes or no, Labour or Conservative, it's a dichotomy. And it's a farce. It's a waste of energy. There is no this and that. There is none. And so as soon as you come across a video that is trying to tell you that it's this and it's not that, run like fuck, because that's not the video that you want to be watching, okay? And remember that when you hear yourself say, well, I believe, stop yourself and just change the word. Change the word, because your unconscious mind's listening and goes, oh, you believe that? I'll give you all the information on that and I'll take all of this other information which gives an opposite opinion away. No. You hear yourself say, I believe that, change it and say, I'm interested in that. I find that subject interesting, but I'm willing to believe anything. I'm willing to listen to anything. I'm willing to hear other people's points of view. Do that and your mind will start to allow you to hear other people's points of view. Of course, sometimes you just go, absolutely not, absolutely not. That's because you've done the study, you've worked hard at it, okay? But don't limit yourself. Keep your reticular activating system on full alert for everything that could come, okay? Remember the wonderful expression which says, surround yourself with the people looking for the truth. And run, flee, get the fuck out when you hear people saying that they've found it. There we are. So, that's all for now, and I'll see you next week. Have a lovely weekend. I love you all. Bye-bye.